Hello, I'm Karen Jefford, and this is the 7+1 video series. Step 4, leverage what you already have. We've become a society of wanting more, but actually sometimes what we need, or what we should recognize, is we already have it in our hands. Most charities are sitting on more value than they realize, and almost like having all the pieces, but not quite putting them together in the right way. A lot of charities that I've worked with feel like they need to do more activity, produce more content, do more outreach, and it just feels like relentless. It's that pushing that boulder up that hill all the time. No matter how much you're doing, sometimes it never quite feels like enough or that you're moving forward. But actually, most organizations don't need to do more. They just need better alignment with what they already have, because there's already so much value sitting within your organization. So a question I want you to ask yourself if you're listening to this video today is, are you making the most of what you already have? Or are you constantly feeling like you're having to do more? This step is another really exciting one, but actually where Alessandro and I both come to the mix. We both deliver on this 90-minute training session, step 4. Alessandro, I'd love your perspective on what do you typically see organizations underusing what they already have?
I will try to explain my perspective, my experience over the last 17 years in a very simple way, because this is very key and very unusual. So you're not gonna hear this one from many people. So it's called like a synergetic compounding effect.
Wow,
what do I mean by that? So I'm gonna like break every word in a way that everyone can also understand and feel what I'm sharing. So the synergetic compounding effect means that the combined effect of multiple elements, an element can be a marketing activity or a marketing asset, is greater than the sum of their individual effect. So you might have, and this is one of the reasons why I'm going to share with you the 90 minutes along with step number 1 and 2. So the reason why we're working together for step number 4 is that we see so many people that they have a lot of marketing activities or marketing asset, to be more specific. So if I need to explain the difference between the two, an activity can be, for example, if I share something on social media, the time that I'm going to write a social media post, that is an activity. But when I'm going to capture that one and put it into the system like LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, where people can rewatch or can read it over and over what I wrote, that become an asset. So whether or not I'm in the room, whether or not I'm awake that I'm writing, I'm educating, I'm giving value to the other person. That is an asset. So an activity becomes an asset. So during like step number 4, we're also helping the charity, the other person, to understand how can I turn an activity into an asset. So when you are sleeping, the asset is going to work for you. So one of the main reasons why it's very, very important to understand, to slow down and say, what are the marketing assets? What are the marketing activities that I already have in my company, in my charity, that I'm not fully leveraged? Sometimes when I work with clients, they have 25. One day it was 50 different assets. And when I ask, which one are you leveraging? The answer, I don't know. So why is very, very important? Because every asset put together allowed you to do like 1 + 1 = 5. Because the compound effect, in particular, when one asset works in synergy with the other one, they are going to create what is called like an exponential effect. The reason why I'm sharing this one, and with Karen, even in some of our episodes, we discuss about the Google's rule. the 7-11-4. So 7 stands for 7 hours. So Google conducted this research where people, before making a decision, for example, buy from you or funding your charity, they need to consume at least 7 hours of content, whether it's a written content, maybe a social media post, an article, video content, a video, or visual content, an image. You need to have enough content for 7 hours to give a person 7 hours of content. 11 stands for 11 touch points. What is a touch point? A touch point is every time that we are exposed to a stimuli can be you as a person, or maybe your logo, your social media, that is a touch point. Could be many times like an email, plus a social media post, plus a video, and plus see you in a networking event in person. Those are already 4 touch points. And then 4. 4 stand for 4 different locations. 4 different locations, online and offline. So the reason why the 7-11-4 is really, really important, in particular when you are able to leverage your existing resources rather than adding extra, is to build the chain of familiarity, likability, trust, and decision. Let me just break each of them down in terms of importance. So the more we are exposed to a stimuli, again, you as a person, social media, an email, the more we build familiarity. If everyone that is going to watch this video want to know more about that, it's called the mere exposure effect. The more I am exposed to a stimuli, the more that stimuli, that person becomes familiar to me. Then the familiarity is going to feed the likability. The more I'm familiar with a person, the more I like the person. And then the more I like the person, the more I trust the person. In one of the videos, we shared that the trust is one of the most important things. People don't buy your product. People don't buy your service. They buy the trust in you. Then when you have the familiarity, the likability, and the trust, it's more likely that the person decided to work with you. So be consistent, be persistent, and knowing how can I leverage all my different marketing activities, all the different marketing assets in order to be recognized as the solution to their problem, or the charity to give the resources is key. Just to explain, the more you are aligned with all the different elements, marketing asset or marketing activities, the more you create this synergy. Just having an email or just doing an email campaign is not enough anymore. You need to really understand, how can I use an email, maybe with a social media post, with a video and in-person event. Then you need to be consistent. The consistency is what enables your charity, for example, to have a compound effect. Every element works in tandem with the others in order to create this compound effect. And lastly is the clarity. We discuss a lot about the clarity. Allows each asset to reinforce the same perception. If an email say X, your video say Y, and when you are in person, you say Z, that is not consistent. So the more you are clear about what are the marketing assets, the marketing activities that we can work, they can work in tandem, the more you build this familiarity, likability, trust, and finally decide to fund, for example, your charity. How does it sound, Karen? I know that is very, very psychological, but this is the key between a person that created the trust and the one that eroded the trust.
I think out of all the steps, Alessandro, this is one of the ones that you and I have had most conversations on, and where we're collaboratively deliver on this. And I think what kept coming up, the signs and the patterns we kept seeing were, charities are over-investing energy with low return on some engagement, and yet they're not utilizing some of the tools they already have in hand and leveraging what they've got. which actually will probably give them high return.
Absolutely. And also, they give them time. We mentioned in one of the videos, many people say, I don't have time. You don't have time because you don't have the structure, or you are adding extra activities, extra asset, or extra tools that they reduce the amount of time.
So step 4, to recap, is absolutely about giving you some time back. It's leveraging what you already have and providing a clearer, more confident use of existing assets, and utilizing, you know, those assets and the activity where teams are can see visible progress, stronger connections, and increased impact without adding pressure. No additional costs, which is really important one for charities. And we definitely don't want you to have extra workload. We know that you're already busy. So this is absolutely utilizing what you have in hand and us giving you those light bulb moments to realize you already have the greatest assets already in your workforce.